welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be working on a signature page for a journal that I'm making that's kind of I call it my housewife journal. I don't know what else to call it. It's basically going to have a lot of kind of vintage sewing things in it and kind of like ladies type things like sewing and cooking and recipes and just kind of like that old-fashioned kind of vintage look. And I thought what would be fun to try is to make a page to go in the journal that's kind of like a collage page, but use the kit that I got from the Paper Tabby. This is from their September kit, and I really like the Paper Tabby. She has every month, if you follow her Instagram account, she'll give you a heads up of when the subscription window is open where you can start subscribing to her kits. And she puts out a kit every month, and it usually has some kind of a theme. I know I've gotten the school themed one. This one is kind of a sewing theme. This was for September. And then the most recent one was kind of a Holly Hobby type theme that had kind of some fall colors in it and that kind of thing. So I really liked this sewing themed one, and I thought it would be fun to try. I've been liking making masterboards lately too, so I thought I would make a kind of masterboard type page to pop into the journal. And let me kind of show you the journal cover that I basically just got this put together. So this is a cover from actually another journal that had just some lined paper in it that I took the paper out, saved that for another project, and I'm using the cover because I really like this kind of rattan look. So I got this prepared. I'm using my Tyvek paper that I covered the inner spine. I made my own spine because I wanted to do a thicker book. So I added a cardboard piece between these two covers, secured it with the Tyvek paper on both sides, and I'm going to be adding some fabric. I haven't decided what pattern yet, but I'm going to be doing that. And so what I like to do is just kind of prep everything ahead of time, and then when I get to the other parts I can work on them later. But this one is nice because it came with this little stretchy band that you can kind of put over the front of it to kind of keep everything closed. So this will be really fun to make, and it'll be nice and thick so I can put a lot of pages in it. So I was thinking what I would do is just grab all the ephemera that came in the pack. And actually it came with more than this, but I kind of went through and pick and chose the things that I thought would work best on a masterboard collage type project. So let me show you kind of just a little bit of what I choose. I kind of organized everything in little piles. So this pile here is all the little ephemera pieces. So a lot of really cute things came in the kit. I love this. It's like a little piece of measuring tape, and then some tags, some just some regular paper ephemera with like a sewing theme to it, some tickets, some playing cards. This is a little flash card, just some little things with lots of color to it. So I'm definitely going to use these for the collage. I'll kind of fit these in as they fit them into like a little puzzle. There's also some wallpaper pieces, which are great. This will be great for the background. So I saved all these in a pile. I also have, actually, I'm going to put all these off to the side so I can kind of keep everything organized. And then some of the regular book pages I have too, because I can use pieces of those for the background. This is definitely going to be front and center somewhere on the collage. And then just some other types of sewing pages. I'll probably just use parts of these. And then these are some lined papers and ledger and invoices and that kind of thing. So this will be really nice for backgrounds. Some bridge papers that were included in the kit. And then some other just scrapbook paper pieces, which I really like this one. So this is definitely going to play a part in it. A little piece of cloth, some vintage wrapping paper, it looks like, and just some other, it's just nicely color coordinated. So it'll make it really easy. And then this bag was in here too, and I might use this for something too. So my plan is to actually use this big piece of ledger paper. And this paper I actually got from my House of Books vintage ephemera kit, I believe also from September. It was great. It came with a bunch of pages of ledger paper, different sizes, and it came with this really big one. And I like this one because it has the blue and the pink lines on it and kind of a more lighter background. So I thought this would be really nice to use as the back part of the page. And so what I'm going to do is use the blank part to cover with all of my collage pieces, and then I'll fold this into my journal so that the collage will be on the front like that on either side, and then inside will be the ledger paper so you can do some journaling. And this page is going to be too big for the journal, and what I'll do is trim it down, and I'll trim it in such a way that I'll keep a lot of the excess intact in one big piece so that I can use it in another part of the journal. So maybe for a pocket or a border or something like that. So I'll definitely get use out of this entire piece of paper, but it won't be completely for just the page. So I'm really excited to try this out. I think this will be an interesting addition to my journal. I usually, in journals, most people add, the scrapbook papers and loose ledger papers, journal papers, other types of like vellum pieces and book pages and things like that. So I thought it'd be fun, since I'm having so much fun doing the masterboards and the collage. I thought, what a great way to kind of use up ephemera that I have, and then also use it for a page. So this will be really fun. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get started. I'm going to speed up the video so you can kind of I'll talk about my thought process as I'm going, and just make it go a little bit faster. I'll speed it up so you can kind of follow along. Oh, another thing I wanted to explain, I'm going to be using my glue stick. This is I'll show you it. It's got the blue color on it so you can kind of see where everything is. I'm using the glue stick because the paper is so thin. I don't want to use any liquid glue or anything like that. If I don't think it's going to be strong enough, I will add this Glue Glider Pro, which is basically just a tape runner that works really well to adhere things to paper too, and it doesn't go through or anything like that. So I thought this will be good too. So I'll leave that over here. So I'm just getting started by laying down some of the kind of background pieces. I'm trying not to think too much about it. I'm just trying to kind of get something down. So I'm using a lot of the lined pieces. I'm doing, I had one in the upper corner, and then I'm going to do one down here to kind of even it out a little bit. And you'll see some of the glue, you can kind of see the blue going through, but that totally disappears. So there's no need to worry about that if you're thinking about that, like with the thinner pieces of paper. So I love that measuring tape paper. So that it's a nice kind of divider for the middle. And then I'm just kind of trying to fit together some other pieces. And I think this other piece of scrapbook paper will look good. Got to try to fit something up in that upper, the narrower areas are harder to kind of fit things in, so I am going to go back to that later. But I have this nice piece of wallpaper I'm going to put in this corner. I really like that. And then I'm just going to try to fill in the blank spaces. So this is just a piece of stationery paper. It's pretty thin, so it'll lay nicely over the top there. Just kind of give a little bit of blue. And then I'm not sure what to put up in the corner. That page is a little more yellowed. I don't think that's really what I want on here. So I'm going to just focus on, this is going to be my focal point, is the simplicity cover. I really like that. So I'm just going to kind of have that be around so I can kind of see what looks good around it. So this guest check, I think looks great up in the corner there with a little bit of pink. That's what's great about this kit. Everything color coordinates, so it kind of makes it really easy for you to throw together a collage. So it's, the colors are right there for you. So I'm trying to fit something up in this little space here. So I'm going to try a a couple of these little journal cards. This little rickrack label, I just trimmed off the ends, and I'm just going to use the main part of it, and that fits perfectly up there next to those ladies. And then I got my focal point here, kind of trying to figure out where the best spot is for it. And then just kind of filling in with some of the other little journal cards that are included. And now what I'm thinking of that was a good idea is to try and kind of score my signature, kind of make the page fit my journal and get the score line down so I kind of know what I'm working with, like where to put ephemera on either side of the page, because I don't want something to get cut off that, you know, I had high hopes that would look good. So I'm going to I want to get my score line down so I can kind of see where this signature is going to fold, so I can kind of put the rest of my ephemera in the right spots, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to kind of get the fold. And this page actually ends up being kind of thick after you add all the pieces. So it's probably going to be more of a middle page in my journal. And that scoreboard I just used, I have a mini version of it and I have the large version. And I highly recommend both of them because I use them for different sized projects, and it really comes in handy. So I'm just adding in a little bit of adhesive on where the little Simplicity cover kind of peeled up a little bit. So I'm just going to seal that down. And I think this whole thing, I end up just using the glue stick. That's all I really need. It's nice. It gives you a nice flat, it's a nice flat adhesive. And then I'm just kind of adding in things here and there. You can see now that the page is folded, it's nice to be able to see kind of what you're going to get on either side. So I'm glad I did that with the scoring. I kind of wish I didn't have to cover up the floral wallpaper there in the left-hand corner. But, you know, sometimes things just have to get covered up because you can't fit everything. You can't show everything on the page. You kind of have to have things covering. So I at least I can see part of the flowers. So I really like this little flash card here, the pinkish pattern, the pinky red pattern. And I'm going to cover up that read and say word with another little embellishment. So I just want to add this little strip of wallpaper. Here is just kind of a little pop of yellow, and then I'm going to add the little sewing machine to kind of cover up the words there. I think that'll look good. So that's kind of a nice little corner piece there. And then I noticed there's kind of a little bubble under the Simplicity cover. So what I'm doing is a little trick. I'm just taking a little pointed Q-tip. It's like a makeup applicator, cotton swab, and just I put some glue there, and then I just tucked it underneath there. And so that's kind of a nice little trick there. And then I'm adding one of these little tags to the middle, just to kind of fill in some of the spaces. And then I wanted to use this measuring tape. I thought this was such a cute little addition to the kit. So I'm adding some score tape to the back of it. I thought that would be the best way to adhere that because it's kind of a slippery vinyl. So I've got a piece of score tape I added there, and I'm just going to kind of add it vertically just to kind of divide up the collage a little bit. And I really like the way this is looking. I love all the colors. And then I'm adding just a little title over there. I think that looks good. And then just to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like, I'm going to trim off the excess pieces off the edges of the masterboard, just to kind of see what it looks like. I'm using my large guillotine trimmer, which I'm so happy I bought this. This was like I can't believe I waited so long. I've made a ton of journals before I had it, and this has made journal making so easy. I can trim signature pages. I can cut more than one page at once. It just saves a lot of time. I can also cut the cardboard that I use for spines too. I don't have to use my craft knife. So I'm adding this doily here that I thought would be nice to kind of fold over the page, and then it's going to even show on the back there with the ledger paper. And I think what I'm going to do now is kind of trim down the masterboard page to see how it's going to look in my journal. So I have it folded over to fit in the journal. I'm going to trim off the excess. So that's one extra piece there. And then I'm also going to trim vertically the excess. So I'm just kind of seeing how it fits in the journal here. And then I'm going to trim off the bottom that's kind of hanging out, so that I get an idea of what it's going to look like in the journal. So that's what the signature is going to look like, and it fits really well in there with a little bit of room to kind of move a little bit, because sometimes the pages do move. And then I'm just kind of adding, seeing if I should add anything else. It's hard to know when to stop. The great thing about this is I haven't even started the journal, so I can always add some more things if I want to later. So let's take a look at what we have left over. This, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Pockets. Yes. So this will be a pocket here. So pockets, or like another little, actually, you can go like that. You can have that and open it up and write journaling that way. Okay, so either pockets. So you know what I'm going to do? Just as kind of a little reminder to myself, I'm going to write down that way. I'll kind of have this in my little bag of tricks, and I can keep this along with this, and I've got this together. Now this I like. So this, there's a lot I can do with this here. Again, some journaling. It is going to be, I may need to, actually, I might use this as like little cards to tuck. So I may just trim it, find a good spot to trim it. And then I can have a flip out. I could fold it. You know, I think I might just use it for like a little pocket. So maybe cut it like right here. I'm going to leave it the way it is and then kind of see how the journal comes together, and then I'm going to keep this as an aside. So I'm so excited to have all of these different pieces for my upcoming journal. I've got my signature page here, and then I've got some extras made off of the masterboard where I can turn it into journaling cards, or I can have little like flip out pockets or something fun like this. So what I'm going to do is kind of wait and see how the journal comes together and see where I want to fit these things in. So it's great. I've already got some extra things I'm ready to add to the journal. And then I've got a lot of extra ephemera pieces here that I can also, if I decide I want to put them, you know, add them along the page, depending on how my journal ends up looking, I can do that. And then also add a bunch of other things that I'm going to include as well. So thanks so much for joining me today. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the products I used. This was a lot of fun. I'm probably going to maybe film some more little ephemera making videos for this journal. I still have to, like I said, kind of get the fabric put together in this. So I'll probably show that on Instagram, so you can follow me over there just to kind of see how the project is progressing. And then I'll do periodic videos to kind of show what ephemera I'm using, and then maybe some of the inner parts of the journal too, so you can kind of see what's going on with that. So thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in my next video.